Decatur Raw, Houston, we have a problem around what price does Tesla have to get before Elon Musk gets margin called for loan on Twitter? I've heard mixed reports on this at the moment. Some are saying he still is leveraged on Twitter for these, or leveraged on Tesla for these loans. Others said he renegotiated, and all of Twitter is the collateral for the loans they took out. Took out something like 13 billion in loans for it, and then took investment from Saudis and other people to cover up the rest of the 44 billion. So I don't know. There was a report from Barron's last week that Elon did get a margin call, that his family fund got a margin call. I don't know if he came up with cash or what to combat that. But I mean, he's lost $200 billion in wealth since this time last year. That's a lot of money. And I mean, December alone, the collapse of Tesla price cost Elon like $135 billion alone. So I don't know how he survives that. I also haven't heard if there's a ruling yet from the Chancery Court on his 50-something billion dollars in stock compensation he received that apparently he didn't qualify for, and one of the shareholders had sued. I haven't heard a ruling about that yet. I'll be interested to see what they say. But I mean, he keeps talking. He can't pay the bills at Twitter. A whole bunch of software engineers quit this week because they vested on the 1st, and they're like, peace. So they're out, which means there's even fewer people to work on the software there than before. He got evicted from a bunch of offices in Europe, got evicted from the Seattle offices because he wasn't paying rent. He's being sued in San Francisco for being back rent on their headquarters office. If you don't have an accounts payable team to pay the bills, then you're going to start getting repoed and foreclosed on for the stuff you don't pay for. So it makes me wonder, it's like, are they paying the server farms? Are the server farms getting a check every month to host the website? Because if not, it could be like my old secretary Gail at the Art Institute when the Pentecostals, when they bought the college and they fired her to like streamline, and she was the person who, she was the accounts payable. She paid the bills for everything. And all of a sudden, all these student records got shredded at a documents warehouse because no one had paid the bills. They're like, well, what do we do with this? Well, it's sensitive, so we'll just shred it all. So 30 years of student records just vanished because no one paid the bill. They asked her, like, oh my God, come back, Gail. You have to help us with this. She's like, I will, for consulting fee for $250,000. I'll tell you how to do all this stuff. And they're like, oh, So everyone's records got shredded. So if you're a student at the Seattle Art Institute, there's a good chance you could just tell anyone that you graduated from there, that you got degrees from there, that you are a video game programmer, a sound engineer, whatever, because there's no record. They'll prove you weren't. So, I'm sure it's that way for a lot of the art institutes. Brown Mackie College, University of the South, Argosy, the other schools that they owned. Gary Del Vecchio, do you think Tesla operations are being hurt by Twitter? The stock price, yes, but day-to-day production? Yeah. Something like 95,000 people who had pre-ordered Teslas called to cancel their orders in December. That's a lot. The price of used Teslas for the first time, the resale value is below that of just regular cars because sellers can't find buyers. People don't want to be seen driving in a Tesla right now. So, a lot of folks like who are, they got their smug. Remember that old episode of South Park? They had all the Priuses and it produced too much smug. Same thing with the Teslas. There was a lot of smug. Like, I'm driving a Tesla. Look at me going real fast, saving the earth. And now all of a sudden, you buy a Tesla, you're seen as a particular political light than before. And a lot of those folks don't want to be associated with that. And so the repeat buyers are vanishing, the new buyers are vanishing, and the used car buyers aren't there. So the price point has dropped a lot.